If you want to be a Sidenoder that's not warrior and is still very strong and can win its matchups, don't look further. This Druid build is extremely strong and especially fun. So if you want to play something new, try out this build. I'm Summer and let's jump right in. You're playing Druid and the new relic of Rivers is really strong, especially on Sidenoder's, on any build that, let's say, has a high amount of dodges, higher than normal at least. So you get Alacrity on dodge and some regen. Then you run Berserker because it's really strong. And then you run Rune of the Flock because you're a Druid. You want some more vitality and some more healing power because actually you have quite a lot of skills that heal you and are quite heavily scaling on healing power. So it's quite a nice rune. Then you want to run Sword and Warhorn in the one hand. And in the other weapon set you want to run Raise Mace. So on both weapon sets you will want to run Sigil of Savagery because it will increase your stun and daze duration by 30% and you will do more damage against stun foes, which is really nice. You have a lot of CC, therefore the duration increase is really strong. In the other Sigil slot you will want to have Energy or Cleansing. So on one set you have Energy and on the other set Cleansing. The reason for that is that your avatar, your celestial avatar swap, is also counting as a sigil swap. And therefore, you don't want to have the same sigils. So you can proc them, let's say, twice. It's really strong. Of course, the defensive sigils are really, it's the best option here. So before I go to the traits, I want to remind you, if you want to see more build guides like this, don't forget to subscribe. And now let's get to the traits. So for the traits, you will want to run Druid, Wilderness Survival and Marksmanship. Druid is really straightforward. You have your Blood Moon, which is, let's say, you just take this because for the days. The bleeding is not that important because you're power build. So every time you go into Celestial Avatar, you daze foes around you. So that's a daze from your traits, really strong. Then you get some more healing power, some healing to your allies, which is nice if you're not on the side node, but most of the time you should be in the side node, or if you push into a team fight, you are okay in a team fight, you have some nice healing and you even have some revive potential, but you are not a healer because you don't have any major healing power, so be aware of that. Then you have 2 glyphs, and this is really strong. You have some more, let's say, protection uptime, which is even better than normal because we will get to that. And then you get some healing increase to others. That's, like I said, you are not a healer, but you can deal some damage, some healing to your allies, and that's good. And then you have this trait that's really, let's say, nasty. So it will increase the potency of your Celestial Avatar skills, which is really strong because your 4 skill will now chill, and your 3 skill that's already a interrupt is now also immobilizing enemies there, which is really strong. So you have a ranged AoE interrupt into immobilize. It's really nasty. And the poison and vulnerability is also really good, even though you're not a condition build. It's a really strong trait. I would say marksmanship is just the offensive straight line. Just to get opening strike, which will do more damage and some vulnerability. And that's really important, this one. When you swap pets in combat, you will cast Lesser Call of the Wild, which will give you Fury, Might and Swiftness, really strong, and will also apply some weakness to enemies around you. It's a really long-lasting weakness, actually, 5 seconds. And it's a blast finisher. The blast finisher is really important here because you can heal it in your water fields, or you can stealth, really strong. It's around you, even though you swap pets, so it's not around the pet, it's around the caster, so you. Then your opening strike also cripples. Your opening strike has 100% crit chance, okay, nice. And every time you interrupt the foe, you get attack of opportunity, so it's like a small opening strike, and the days and stun duration is longer, so you have even more, let's say, duration on your stuns. Really strong. And then, that's the important one. Every time you gain Fury, you reset your opening strike. So every time you give yourself Fury, your next attack will guaranteed crit, will apply some vulnerability and cripple, and will deal increased damage. So it's really, you have a lot of Fury access, and therefore it's really strong that you continuously get this opening strike back. And now the trade line, that's the important one. Why this build is even viable. It's Wilderness Survival. So you get increased endurance regen, which is important because your River's Relic is proccing by this dodging. And of course, it's you get protection when you dodge, and protection heals you. So you have a lot of built-in synergies with this, and that's why this trade is also really good and gives you protection and some healing by doing this. Then you get increased vitality and some expertise based on your vitality. That's not that good, but better than nothing, I guess. And then you have this trade that's really strong. You get increased outgoing strike damage and reduced incoming strike damage, and that's increased when you have a lower health threshold. So it's really just a boost to your damage and your sustain. Really strong. And then this trade is why it's viable, this build, Carnivore. So every time on a, let's say, quarter-second cooldown, when you or your pet disable a foe, you deal life siphon damage and you heal 600. It's just really good. That's really good. You have so many CCs that you will disable them quite a lot. And therefore you have a lot of extra damage and, most importantly, a lot of extra healing. So you are quite sustainable with this. Now to the skills. So you run Mace, so that's some nice healing. Your auto attack is also some nice vigor application. Then it's a blast finisher. Really important because you want to blast, of course. And it's a stun if you hit, so that's your first CC. There's a Condic Lens, Stability, Barrier. It's really overloaded, this skill. If you hit, even better. This will continuously slam the ground in front of you. And the last hit will apply Daze, so it's another stun. And if you get enough stacks from Nature Strength, which you will get when you hit enemies with your attacks, you will reset all your cooldowns of your maces. And you will get a short buff of damage and healing. Really strong. Then, of course, Healing Spring, really important, because it's not only heal and Condic Lens, but it's also a water field, so you can do blast finishers or leap finishers to it, so to heal. Really good. Then you have your first Glyph, which is a Daze, so another CC. It's a stun break as well, and it gives you protection. Really, really good. Aware that this is not a Daze in the Celestial Avatar form. It's only outside of it. It's a stun break for your allies as well in the Celestial Avatar form. Then you have another stun break here, some barrier and protection as well. So 2 stun breaks. And then you have your Signet of Stone. Gives you some toughness and some, the active gives you some, let's say, immunity against direct damage. So you get still ticks from Condis, but it's 3 seconds in one, so really good actually. And then you have your Glyph of Stars. Even though they nerfed it, it's still really strong. It's a water field. It continuously removes conditions, gives and heals and gives stability and protection. Really good. But in the Celestial Avatar form, it will be even better for most cases because you can revive allies with it. And this is, of course, a really selfish one if you do this in a 1-on-1. But you can also push in a team fight and clear Condis, or in the Celestial Avatar form, revive someone with it. It's not an instant revive, but it's a ticking revive. So really good. So be always aware that this is a really strong skill in either form and is a water field, so you can combo it, of course, again. On the second weapon set, you have a nice auto attack. Then you have a short leap finisher, so you can stack stealth or water healing with it and give some nigger. Then this is a short evade, also a leap finisher, really good. Then you have some nice vulnerability application on ranged and some damage. And then, of course, this skill is a blast finisher. It's Might, Fury, Swiftness, Weakness to enemies, and it's a Daze, so you can interrupt enemies with it. And therefore, another CC. So you have a lot of CCs, like I said. This skill is a CC, this is a CC, this is a CC, and this. And then you have in your Celestial Avatar form your auto attack, some healing, It's an instant cast Condi cleanse from you and allies on the AoE. Then this is an emob and a stun, so another CC. There's chill and some healing and a water field, so if you swap pets in there, it will blast. Even though it's a channel cast, this instant swap of your pet will proc it. And then your 5 skill in Celestial Avatar is, it roots you in Blaze, that it will also do some damage and some nice conditions to the enemies, so slow and it's really nasty. And then you have your pets. For your pets, of course, you have your smoke skill. Even after the nerf, it's really good because you will get access to your smoke field, which you can blast or leap through to stack stealth. Really good. And smoke skill itself is also really good. It deals a lot of damage actually. And then the second pet is a new one. It's a Juvenile Sky Chuck Striker. It's not as tanky as the smoke skill, but it's quite nice because it deals some damage as by itself. But most importantly, you have this on a really short cooldown. It's a daze around the pet. It's a field, and if you jump through it, the hit from this jump will daze as well. So it's not only the field, but it's also the jump through this. And that's really nasty because then you have even more CCs. So you have, with all your jump finishers, you have even more CCs because of this. So you have a lot of access to CCs, which will all proc the Carnivore trait to heal you. And therefore, and the opening strikes, and you have a lot of damage by doing this. You are really sticky, you have a lot of movement skills, you're quite fast, and you have a lot of healing from your water fields and of course from the lifesteal. So this is a really well-rounded build. I hope you have as much fun as I have with this. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like. I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.